Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale, and today I have the controversial leader of Nova, the English-speaking leader of all the English clans and the esports competitive team. It's Trevor. And guys, so I want to give a quick preamble before this interview, right? So I know some people might be kind of upset that I even gave a platform from somebody in Nova to come on my channel, but truthfully, I've spoken out so many times against win trading in the game. I think you guys all know my opinion on it. I think that it's awful that it exists, and I think that Supercell, the onus is on them to a large extent to fix the problem. But also, I noticed on Reddit that Trevor had written up a post and Nova leadership kind of saying that they wanted to change their ways, saying that they were sick of being known as these nefarious win traders who are exploiting everybody else in the game at the top of the ladder, and that they want to host a tournament for the public. So I was optimistic, honestly, that they would kind of change their ways and help everybody and actually be a bastion in the community rather than an embarrassment, to be frank, at the time, So anyway, I had Trevor on the channel right now, so you're going to hear an interview with Trevor, and he was very kind enough, honestly, to come on. I asked him on the channel. I said that, I noticed that Galadon put out a video about Nova, and a few other YouTubers have certainly mentioned them a lot, and I figured, why not? I've always kind of, prided myself on actually bringing these people on, so you, as the listener, as the viewer, you can decide for yourself if you believe them, if you stand behind them, if you support their change. I would just tell you one thing, because I know a lot of people are going to be listening with a very critical ear, and I think at the end you will agree that I was not easy on Trevor, and I didn't tell him any of these questions ahead of time, so I asked him hopefully everything that you could have wanted me to ask, and I do have to give him props for coming on, putting his name out there behind his clan, and sticking up for his clan, and at the same time really trying to revamp their image and trying to help the community. So I do have to give Nova and Trevor props for that. So guys, you can be the judge. What do you think of them? Do you believe them? I'll probably save my own personal feelings for a future video. For this one, I'm just going to go ahead and take a journalistic approach and let you guys be the judge. So guys, that was a long preamble. Jeez, Ash, stop it. Enjoy the interview, guys. All right, guys, so I am joined here by Trevor, who is the English-speaking leader of the Nova clan family. Trevor, first of all, thanks so much for coming on. I know this isn't, necessarily the easiest interview request, but it says a lot about you and Nova leadership that you were willing to come to the table today.
Yes, well, we are very happy to actually be here. Thank you for reaching out.
No problem at all. Yeah, so the reason I reached out to you, obviously, is because of all the negative publicity going on about your clan over the last year really of Clash Royale, or your alliance I should say. But before we get into that kind of stuff, I wanted to really kind of take a step back and ask you about Nova as an alliance. First of all, who are they? Who's behind this curtain of Nova, so to speak, and how did you get involved with them?
Well, Nova, I would say, is based off of a Chinese company. Nova in China, they developed a phone called Yoda phone. So they're big into mobile stuff. And then also the owner of Nova started with Clash Royale just as a passion. And slowly he started to max out more accounts, and he found really good players. He was part of In the Light for a while. And he basically would find the best players and reward them for being good players. He branched off into creating a clan called Yoda Phone. It was on the leaderboards for a while, and then decided that Nova, as a name of the company that he owns in China, would be the name of the clan that he runs in Clash Royale.
Okay. And how did you get involved with them?
Well, it's a funny story, actually. I was just a level 9, and back then I almost hit 4,000 trophies as a level 9, which was unheard of. And I went to a Nova clan, and they had just coincidentally been in a management transition at the time, and I had to go through a competitive a competition in order to prove my skill. I had to wake up early in the morning because of the time difference in China, and competed against about 5 of their top players. And 3 days later, they decided to sponsor me.
Ah, so cool. So basically, what happens when Nova gets behind a player that they like and wants to sponsor them? Do you basically just get their funding to max out your account or something, or is it more than that?
It's a bit more than that. It's a complicated situation. Nova as a company likes to have the best players, and we like to reward the players that are skilled and loyal to Nova.
I got you. So how many clans are there officially in Nova, and are they all under the same branch of leadership?
The amount of clans, probably 100 plus if you're including all the feeder clans. In our clan description, I think we're running out of room. We can no longer fit all of them, but
I bet.
There's probably 20, 25 clans that are in the top 200 that are official Nova clans, and then there's regional ones that are like top 3 or number 1 in their local region that are official too, but the difficult thing is fitting them all in the clan description at the moment.
And are you so what is your role right now? I know basically you're the highest ranking English speaking member of Nova. So, are you managing, I know it says like on your Twitter profile that you're managing the esports competitive angle, the teams. Is that pretty much what you're spending most of your time doing inside the Nova infrastructure right now?
Well, basically Nova is almost 2 subsidiaries. There's a Chinese and an English section of Nova. We have one boss that operates the entire thing, and then there's 2 managers, me and one of the Chinese guys.
Okay.
And then we have our management team underneath of us.
Okay, that makes sense. So getting kind of into the whole win trading stuff, and basically I kind of want to take a step back and go way back to the beginning of when it started happening. So you've since come out recently on Reddit and in other forums and apologized for this, and you've admitted and acknowledged about it and stuff like that. So huge props for that. But obviously that leads to a few other questions. And the first one is how did it start? Was it kind of like a cultural thing that it just, some people started doing it and then others did too? Or how did it become so widespread and seemingly synonymous with the Nova brand?
Well, actually, win trading started before Nova even existed. HK Esports during soft launch was win trading. Basically, back then, all the top clans were win trading in order to compete with each other.
So, I'm kind of coming into this, conversation and the entire win trading discussion. I've spoken out against it, numerous times in the past. But my big thing is that I've met so many great players and great people in Nova who seem to take the game so seriously and take like win trading as a serious issue. But at the same time, I remember times playing the game where I would look at the leaderboard and it would just be all Nova, like this is after the HKE stuff. So what did you think when it was all going on as somebody from, North America? What do you think? What was going through your mind when you saw you guys basically win trading a lot? You were either doing it the most or you were the best at it, either one. And then you kind of knowing that you were taking a lot of heat, especially on the English speaking side of things. Like, how did you feel about this?
When I first joined, which was pretty far back now, there was at least 5 or 6 different clans, and it almost became a competition amongst them who could do that the best. Yeah, so basically back then it was almost like probably 60%, 80% of the top clans were win trading, and it was a rivalry. The 2 biggest clans that did it was Aviation and Nova, which at one time were partners, but then they became rivals. So, which all happened around the Shanghai tournament time.
Okay, so when did you think that it was becoming a problem?
You know what? It was honestly, other than like coincidental matchups, it's been about 4 or 5 seasons since anybody in the English side of Nova has done any win trading.
Okay, and I want to ask you, because I know you've put in like measures to try to police that, and I actually think they're actually really good ideas from what you told me. But before we get into that, like why the change of heart, I guess? Why stop doing it? If it was working for you guys, you were certainly getting notoriety. You were all over the top of the leaderboards and applications were flowing in. So why stop?
Why stop? Well, a big reason I stopped was we started a group chat that involved a lot of the higher ranking or louder voices in the community, such as Reddit Alpha, Elite Gaming, Synergy. We had made a group, and we actually decided that we wanted to grow the competitive side of Clash Royale. With this came the natural change that I wanted my clan to lead by example.
Okay, so basically you wanted a long-term sustainability for the game, and to do that, you decided that you had to stop the win trading at the top of the ladder, kind of?
Yeah.
Am I correct on that?
Basically, I didn't want to be a hypocrite.
I got you.
And I wanted our clan to lead by example. We're the biggest organization in the clan or in the game, and to be honest, if we took our resources and put them into a positive light for the game, I think that we could be a positive impact and grow the game.
Yeah, well, I definitely commend you for that. I mean, it's easy for people to bash you because honestly, just to be blunt, I think you deserved it because, it sucks. It sucks for everybody who wants to be the individual or people who don't have $1 million company backing them to try to compete in a game like this in that sort of environment. But at the same time, it's better late than never, and the fact that you came around at all is, to me, commendable. So cheers to that. And why don't you just tell, before we get into how you're policing this new philosophy of fair play at the top, can you just tell us basically, what win trading even is? I probably should have asked you this first, but obviously you're kind of orchestrating matchups at the top of the ladder. Was it difficult to do, and is it still difficult to do?
True win trading, I would classify as premeditated matchups. You can predetermine the matchups before they happen. Now it's a little bit harder to do, but it's still possible to do. Now, before, two people could push battle at the same time, and probably 9 out of 10 times they would match each other. The most you would need would be 3 people. One person would hit battle, they would get the person in queue, and then the next 2 people would hit battle, and they would match each other. So premeditated matchups would result in the manipulation of the ladder. Now, that's what I would classify as win trading. Now, people that coincidentally match up from the same clan, I would classify I guess you could still consider it win trading, but it's more of luck of the draw, kind of.
Sure.
So, and before we had a family rule that the last 2 days of the season that you would either tie or you would let the higher player win. It was up to you guys to decide. Now, so they weren't forced matchups, but due to the amount of players we had in the top 200, it happened quite often. So
yeah, that makes sense.
So, but it's been about 4 or 5 seasons since there's been any premeditated matchups done from anything that I'm involved in.
And what did Supercell do to make it more difficult? Like, what measures did they put in?
Right now, there's a ladder queue where I feel like there's a pool of I can't speak to it for sure, but from my observation is there's a pool of players that's set by a time period that if say 10 people press battle, in about 30 seconds, they would get randomly matched up. So 2 people can't just push battle and match each other. If they wait till the pool is full.
And what would you say to people who might say that, oh, it's kind of funny that you decided to, go to change to be on the up and up as soon as Supercell implemented this rule or whatever, or this change in ladder play that makes it more difficult to match one another?
We actually changed that this season before that ever happened.
Okay, well, good to hear. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what measures you're actually taking to actually police this? You said it's been, 4 or 5 seasons since any win trading has been going on. So you told me off air, some of the things you were doing, and I was actually very impressed by the measures that you're taking. Can you kind of share them with the viewers today?
Well, I've explained some of it in our Reddit post. If nobody's seen it,
I'll
you
link
can,
that
you
too.
can find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find it on Reddit. But I also sent out a notice to all of our players in our group chat that basically states that they need to connect their Facebooks. I need to have access to their battle logs at any time. And I expect them, when they hit top 10, to post battle logs on Twitter. We've also implemented, and I allow this, I said, for the first 12 days of the season, they have to fight. Like, no matter what, there's no tying, there's no giving wins, nothing like that. But the last 2 days of the season, I said that they have the choice that they can tie, but there will be no free wins given. And the reason for the tying is due to the size of our team. We are not able to fit everybody into one clan, and we are unique in that way that I don't think any other clan has that obstacle.
Yeah, you know what? That actually, I think that's pretty fair. The whole, if you organically match up in the wild, I think that's a different story. At least me personally, I don't think that, having a truce to tie is any issue at all. I don't think many people would have a problem with that. But I do like especially the fact that you make all your players now link up on Facebook or whatever, Game Center or whatever, so people can actually go and watch the matches if they want to. And the fact that you have access to their battle logs, I mean, that's pretty solid. I don't think you could ask for more as a community member, other than additionally to that. Have you had any issues since then? Like, have some of the players kind of balked at this new policy?
No, actually, most of them are actually quite happy for it.
Nice.
They're very skilled players. They're very competitive. They want to compete at the top of the ladder. They don't want to give any wins away. So they're actually quite happy to do it. So, and I figure that if the last 2 days, if somebody requests a tie, they should respect it for the fact that if they were in the same clan, they would never have matched up. And it doesn't affect the ladder rankings. Basically, it just voids the match as if it never happened.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. Very, very interesting stuff. If you do you think it's still a big issue in the game besides Nova?
I've never seen any battle logs, so I can't say for sure, but I know that the previous season there was clans willing to show their battle logs, and then this season they've refused to show their battle logs. They've disconnected Facebook at the end of the season, and I seen the one account like over 100 trophies above everybody else, which at the end of the season is nearly impossible to do. Like at 50, 60 is one thing, but like it was over 100.
Okay, so would you send a message to those clans to kind of institute the same policies that you've done in order to like make the top of the ladder fair?
Yes, I think they should.
Okay, cool.
I think everything should be on the up and up. I think everybody should be willing to show their battle logs or connect Facebook, if it's possible.
Is the Chinese faction of your clan family, are they all on board as well?
Well, in China, because of internet bans and stuff, they're unable to have Twitter. They're unable to have Facebook, so they're unable to have all the spectating and stuff. So it's impossible to enforce that on them because it's impossible for them to have it.
Yeah. Are you basically just taking them at their word at this point?
Basically, that's the only option I have.
Yeah, I understand. But like, as far as the leadership goes, but they're with you though. The other community leader that you spoke of underneath the owner.
Yes.
Okay, great.
And even if you look at ladder, it used to be basically 9 of 10 players were of one clan.
Yeah.
Now it's not like that. And even if there is 5 people from Nova, I'm able to show at least 3 or 4 of their battle logs and have them connect to Facebook. So.
Yep. Okay, so, you have a huge event coming up, and I'm really excited about it. As you mentioned, there's a lot of other, big clans in the community all involved, a lot of top clans in the community. Can you tell us a little bit about this big, at Clash Royale, actually their official Twitter just retweeted it the other day. Can you tell us about this big tournament that you guys are planning?
So basically, we've been in talks with Clash Royale and Supercell and the team, and we've discussed the competitive side of Clash Royale and making it an esport and trying to improve the competitive side. Mm-hmm. So myself, and Woody from Reddit Alpha, a couple members from from your clan, Elite Gaming,
Mm-hmm.
as well as a Synergy leader and a few other community people, have all decided that we would come together and make this event. So Nova does internal tournaments. Typically, we just recently had a $2,000 internal tournament for our own people. I was given $2,500 to do another internal tournament, but I decided that that money would be best used to do a community event or a league. So that's what we decided to do. I contacted all the people from the group chat that I'm in, and we are trying to bring the best event we can possibly bring to the community.
And is there a way for the people in the community to get involved, or is it pretty much for now just going to remain amongst those top clans that are kind of organizing it?
No, there's a registry. Basically, we're having 128 clans able to participate in qualifiers.
Okay.
And out of those 128 clans, they're split into 4 groups based on time zone. And then I think it's the top 4 from each group will move on to the group stage. And then there's 4 pre-qualified clans for the group stage. So basically 16 teams or clans will be involved in 32, sorry.
Yeah.
32 clans will be involved in the group stage.
Wow, that's really cool. So, and you said the registration is open right now?
Yes, it's open until Friday, tomorrow.
Okay, great. Well, I'm going to definitely put that in the description as well. Are there a few slots left? Do you have an idea of how much room is left at this point?
Oh, there's a lot of room. We have over 500 applicants still that we have to go through, but we're waiting until the weekend to accept everybody.
Okay, great. That sounds super fun, and from what I hear from my guys in that chat, it definitely is upbeat, and everybody's really looking forward to it. So I know we'll have a team in there, and I hope the other people watching, think about submitting an application. It should be a heck of a lot of fun. Any other final messages to the community or anything like that, Trevor? I know you've been super generous with your time and just really, I really respect the fact that you came on to talk about, not everything we talked about has been the best, but I really, really can't commend you enough on, turning things around, and hopefully we do have a really good competitive game, especially at the top of the ladder and leaderboard. Is there anything else that you want to say to anybody?
I just have one message, because actually Woody from Reddit Alpha said it to me when we were discussing the tournament, that it's time to turn over a new leaf and for this community to work together to making this great game that we have even better. Yeah, that's definitely wise words. And Woody is he's been on the channel a few times. I got to meet him in real life as well. He's a great guy. So definitely, couldn't have said it any better myself. So, Trevor, just wanted to thank you again, man. Is there a way that people who might want to join Nova or one of your affiliated clans can check you guys out? Do you have a website? We have a website. We're in the process of revamping it, but it is there. We have a Twitter, and we have Facebook, Instagram. Most of your social media outlets, we have something on.
Great. I'm going to include all that information, guys, all in the description. So if you want to, try out for Nova, I assume you have like some sort of an application process. You can't just request in game. Is that the case?
No, for most of our clans, you can just request to join them.
What about the big bad top of the leaderboard clan? What is it like to get in there? How does one get into that clan?
Basically the same as every other clan. We're no different. We have, all you got to do is request if you're able to. Usually the requests are full, and even our own people can't get back in the clan until someone clears them. But if you request and your trophies meet the required trophies, or early season, I like to just accept everybody that applies, as long as we have space for them. And yeah, everybody can join.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much, Trevor. Again, I look forward to working with you, the rest of the members of Nova, and hopefully, like you said, turning over a new leaf in the community. Really appreciate you coming on, man.
Yes, thank you for having me.
No problem.
Bye.
And there you have it, guys. So I want to hear in the comments, what did you think of Trevor? Were you a fan of him, coming on, doing the right thing, at least saying all the right things? I was pretty impressed with the fact that they all have to link their Facebook accounts and stuff like that. I mean, it's pretty hard to, unless he's just flat out lying, it's pretty hard to game the system when anybody can spectate the Nova players. But anyway, guys, I did say I was going to leave my full opinion for a future video. What I do want to hear from you guys also is if you like these long interviews with just people in the community who have, I don't want to use the word drama, but, hot topics is the better phrase. Hot topics in the community. Do you want to hear more of this type of content on my channel? Let me know, guys, and I'll be sure to deliver either yay or nay. So, guys, thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.